We are born into a world that asks us to be a soft place for others to land, an architectural buffer designed to absorb the friction of a room before it can touch anyone else. It is a quiet rhythmic labor, the rounding of our edges, the lowering of our voices, the curation of a self that is aesthetically pleasing and emotionally convenient. But beneath the cool girl tropes and the sociological strips lies a staggering exhaustion. The weight of being the other in a world where your grace is a utility. If we finally put down the mask and refuse to be the lubricant for social friction, would we even recognize the raw, unpolished person left standing in the silence?
Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. So this video is about something that flares up a lot of my emotions because I'm 20 and I'm a girl. So there have been many versions of me till now. The girl I was in elementary school, in high school, in college. And the thing is, this problem is something that every version of me has faced at some point or the other. And we all change, right? I change every 2 years, I change every 1 year, I change a lot. But this is something that I have constantly faced. I and thankfully it did not come from my parents or my house, but it did come from people who I really trusted, who should have really guided me, like my teachers. I remember my teacher coming in the class when I was just a young teenager, I was like 13 or 14. She coming into the class and saying that girls should not verbally abuse, and what's the difference between you and a guy? Uh, I remember being just 9, 8 years old and going somewhere, and my grandmother's friend, she saying that you're already so skinny. Why are you wearing skinny clothes? You should wear something loose. It will complement your body. I remember on multiple occasions people telling me you should sit with your legs closed, you should sit straight, you should not bend, you should not do this. You should always have your legs closed while sitting, doesn't matter if you're wearing trousers or jeans or whatever. And people till this day this has not changed and I don't think it will ever change. That people coming and saying that you should always have this. Bro, why? I don't feel like smiling. This is my natural face. Why should I always have a smile on my face? So that you look approachable. These feminine traits, oh my god. So I hope you got started for today's video from introduction. So today's video is basically about how femininity is just designed for male comfort. Nothing else. Okay, I want to talk about how women are treated as a buffer or as emotional shock absorbers in society.
So women have always had the role of being the emotional shock absorbers of their families, including their spouses.
Yeah.
In fact, during COVID, the New York Times had an article called "Society's Shock Absorbers." So that's a gender role, not biologically determined, but dictated by a certain patriarchal view of women's position.
So, all the feminine traits, like take any trait, whether it is about being soft spoken, about being agreeable, about, not being loud, not standing up for yourself, not fighting. It is all about making life easier for men in a society. And they're not personality quirks, like if you do this, then your personality will become better. If you do this, then this will give you mental peace. No. These traits are all about making the world comfortable for men. We have normalized it for men to be aggressive, to be angry, to be direct, to be rude, to be stupid. We have normalized this for men so much. So we are like, okay, men are like this. So you become something that makes it easier for them to be like this. If they are aggressive, they should be aggressive. We should be polite. Because it's like two metal parts rubbing against each other will cause friction in the society. So they are saying that let them be the metal parts, you become the shock absorber. You change. So there is no friction in the society. I have heard this like 200 times that, my dad is scary, my dad is kind of angry, but my mom is still just fine at home. And my mom is still just kind of softens the blow at home. And this is how our society functions in a nutshell. Women are always, told to be nurturing. They are seen in a way that they should be nurturing. We have made such a big deal about mother's intuition and mother's emotions and mother's attachment. Yes, they are there, but no one talks enough about the father's attachment, father's intuition. And I am a girl who is very direct. I cannot smile when I'm uncomfortable. You can see my emotions on my face, and I'm very direct. I don't like bright colors. I like really flat, dark colors. I like tattoos. I like piercing. I am not someone who is agreeable, right? I stand my ground always. So, like, I have heard this like 200 times that you are not feminine enough, you're very boyish. You know, when a woman is treated as a buffer, she absorbs the impact of other people's emotions, other people's bad news, other people's aggression. And like I just said, that my mom softens the blow. So you don't know how much your mom is like absorbing the negative emotions and the aggression just to keep the environment smooth and easier for others, better for others. And like Virginia Woolf said it a long time ago that women have served all these centuries as looking glasses, possessing the magic and difficult power of reflecting the figure of a man twice its natural self. And you know, she said it such a long time ago, but it is still so relevant into our society, and that is just so sad. And this quote basically just means that, women act as mirrors who reflect men not into their natural self, but twice their actual self. So what she's trying to say here is that, you know, men have these egos. Men think that they're better than anyone else. Men think that if a guy is like 80% a good person, but he thinks that he's 200% a good person, women are just there to tell him that yes, you're correct. Women are just there to make them feel good about themselves, to make them feel perfect, to feed into their delusion. Means reflecting twice their natural selves, right?
The New York Times had an article called Society's Shock Absorbers about how women took on the stresses of their families and their spouses, and they felt guilty when they couldn't protect their husbands from stress.
We are not supposed to give them a reality check. We are just supposed to feed into their delusion. Women are just there to never tell men that you're not doing enough or you are doing this incorrectly. They're just there to validate them. If the man is, so what, let's just pick up one trait, like being soft spoken. If a man is screaming at me and I'm being soft spoken, what am I doing? I'm just telling him that, okay, it's fine for you to scream. Your behavior is justified. I will talk to you lightly. It will become a balance. You scream, I go softer. It's a balance. So every feminine trait is designed in a way to make it easier for men to validate themselves and justify their crazy behavior. Even then, I knew that soft was a dangerous word. It was a word that was used for things that could be stepped on. And you know, all these feminine traits are just made so that it's easier for men to step on us, literally. If I'm soft, my softness will always be seen as a weakness by the men. Oh, you're too emotional. Oh, she's so emotional, she's so attached to me, she will never leave me. Let's go ahead and do something crazy because I can do anything, she won't leave me. Walking all over the women, treating their softness as not as a good thing, but something that would be stepped on. Men do this a lot. They know that you're attached, they know that you're soft, they know that you're emotional, and they'll go ahead and do anything. They'll go ahead cheat on you, they'll go ahead scream at you, they'll go and abuse you because they are playing with your emotions. They know that you cannot leave them, you're too attached, or you are too good, you are too soft. So basically stepping all over you. Now this point only leads me to my second point, which is about the double work burden that women carry all the time. So in today's society, women are doing everything a man does, right? Thankfully, today's time allowed women to do most of the things that men are doing. There are obviously a lot of inequalities, but still, today women are earning, they are paying half the bills, contributing in the family in the same way that a man does. But they are also again carrying another burden of being the shock absorber, is which is not even acknowledged, right? Women, like I just told you in the first point, women were always the shock absorbers, right? Earlier, when women didn't work, they were just the shock absorbers. But now they are doing the same job that a man does, and they are also still the shock absorbers. So they literally have this double burden of performing both the jobs perfectly.
In the meanwhile, for two reasons, women have also entered the workforce since the 30s, in many cases out of economic necessity. In other cases, because as you say, people have a desire, a need, and the right to express themselves and not to be constricted in their range of endeavors in this world, which all would have been fine if the stress role had been shared by the genders. But it hasn't been. So now you got double the stress. You have to make it out there,
Yeah.
and you're still playing the same role at home.
And the second job is not even acknowledged. Women, with the help of femininity, women are always, basically asked to suppress themselves, make them smaller so that there was more room for men, for masculinity. There was this movie, crazy movie, Gone Girl, where there's this really beautiful woman who has all these feminine traits that our society tells us that we should have, liking the same things that a man does, smiling all the time, being agreeable, being approachable, nice all the time. Later there's this crazy twist in the movie where you find out that how much that girl was suppressing her real negative side just for the guy in the movie to have, frictionless, beautiful life.
Cool girl. Men always use that, don't they, as their defining compliment. She's a cool girl. Cool girl is hot. Cool girl is game. Cool girl is fun. Cool girl never gets angry at her man. She only smiles in a chagrin-loving manner and then presents her mouth for fucking.
How much little she was making herself for the guy to spread more. So it's like you are playing football, okay? And you are obviously a player, but you're also the captain. So obviously you are playing in the field, you have to be good at the field since you're playing football, you are a teammate. But on top of that, being a captain also means you have to look after each member, you have to look at the team goal, to coordinate with coaches and everyone. So it's a double burden, right? Similarly for the women. Women are playing in the field, they're going to the offices, they're doing everything a man does, and they're also handling the emotional side of it. This crazy femininity, they're also performing this crazy femininity. And there's this crazy article called Women Aren't Nags, They're Just Fed Up. It's by Gemma Hartley and it was published in the Harper's Bazaar. In this article, she beautifully talks about how emotional labor becomes a second job at home for women. Like, she literally says in the part of an article that however, it's not as easy as telling him that my husband, despite his good nature and admirable intentions, still responds to criticism in a very patriarchal way. Forcing him to see emotional labor for the work, feels like a personal attack on his character. If I were to point out random emotional labor duties I carry out, reminding him of family's birthday, carrying in my hand the entire school handbook, and dietary guidelines for lunches, updating the calendar to include everyone's schedules, asking his mother to babysit the kids when we go out, keeping track of what food and household items they are running low on, tidying everyone's true about belongings, the unending hell that is laundry. He would take it as me saying, look at everything I'm doing that you're not. You are a bad person for ignoring me and not pulling your weight.
So because we're doing this work at home and we're constantly keeping that running list, we're sort of on call all the time. So we can be at the office, but we're not 100% there because we're waiting, maybe we're going to get a text asking where this, child's teddy bear is for the night. I've heard from a lot of high-powered women that said, I was about to go on stage and give a talk and my phone went off in my pocket. And I thought about it the whole time because I thought something had gone wrong at home and I needed to tend to it. And there's a really, it really inhibits our work when we are constantly tied to the home in that way.
I'm not saying that men today are not helping. They are helping. I remember a professor, very good professor, him coming and saying that, I am reading all these articles, I'm studying a lot, and now whenever I go to the terrace, I help my wife by bringing down the dried clothes. So basically in India, we hang clothes up in our balconies. So we let them dry with the help of sun. So he was basically saying that now, after reading all of this, whenever he goes to the terrace, he brings the dried clothes down to help his wife. And it is a very small initiative, but yeah, it is something. And I'm not saying that men nowadays are not helping. They are really trying their best to help. But guys, you have no idea how many small invisible jobs women perform every day. And not only as a mother and a wife, just as a female. Just as a little 13-year-old girl or like a 20-year-old girl. We carry a lot more than you at all times. We do a lot more than you emotionally at any given time. I want to talk about the internalized gaze, and I think most of us have experienced it at some point in our life or are still experiencing it, that there comes a point in our life when we are not ourselves anymore. Like, we become someone who is judging us, right? And this is worse from the people outside me judging me because this judgment is coming from the inside. For example, there's this party, right? You're there dancing, laughing your heart out, dancing like crazy, just having fun. That is you in the childhood. But there comes a point at that party where you see that there is a mirror in front of you. You look at yourself in the mirror and you realize that while dancing you are all sweaty and your makeup is all ruined and your hair is just like a bird's nest and your stomach is coming out and your clothes are not perfect. And that's when you're not dancing anymore. You are just moving and looking at yourself in the mirror after every 5 seconds. This the second part is what happens when the society starts conditioning you into femininity. Second thing is what happens when the society starts teaching you about femininity, kind of conditions you into performing femininity. I wish I could forever be that little girl who was dancing her heart out without any mirror. But I think as we keep growing up, those mirrors just keep increasing, right? If earlier at the beginning there was one mirror in front of you, I'm at a point where I am basically in a mirror room. There are like 10 mirrors on the wall.
As I began to write about these new developments, I felt certain that my old 1975 essay, written in the days of darkened film theatres and the silver screen, would gradually be retired to become an archaeological object of theoretical and historical interest. But on the contrary, over the last decade, the idea of a male gaze has more or less entered cultural and even ordinary language. I welcome the way that this phrase represents a new generation's critique of mainstream film, its day-to-day sexism, the continued difficulties faced by women directors, the lack of good female parts, and so on. This critique is, to my mind, long overdue, and I'm gratified that the concept male gaze has proved to be useful to a new generation.
I know I'm my own biggest critic, so it hurts more when other people start saying things because I know it. Please don't say it out loud. It just makes me feel bad. Women are objectified all the time, but what people don't get is that we are also suffering from self-objectification. So you objectifying us is just making it so much more worse because I'm already suffering a lot, which you guys won't see. There are a lot of people who would be like, you can't take a joke. You're so serious all the time. And it's fine, it's just constructive criticism. You are overreacting. Though I'm overreacting because I already know it, right? I have self-objectified myself and then you objectifying me again, it's a double reaction. Obviously, I'm overreacting. There is this moment that came into my life, and I think it comes in every woman's life. So one day you sit down and you realize that, okay, the society actually won. The moment where you realize that, yeah, the society won. I'm not living my life from inside anymore. I'm living my life from the outside. It's not about inside out anymore. It's outside in. About your questions changes, right? When you're talking to yourself, you don't ask how do I feel about this. You start asking yourself that how does it make me look? What do people think of it? This external design that the society has created for women, and I'm not saying it's only about men. Women also reinforce this a lot. Old women reinforce this a lot. My generation, the Gen Z reinforces this a lot, and you might feel bad about it when it comes to you, that but maybe you are also implying it on other people. This external design that the society has created, it becomes a constant inside voice. Like Margaret Robbie said that you are a woman with a man inside watching a movie. You are your own lawyer. So it's basically that you are basically a woman who is judging herself from the inside like a man would judge her. You are criticizing yourself from the inside like a man would criticize you at all the time. You are your own biggest voice. There is this Japanese anime movie which is called The Perfect Blue, and this movie is basically about an actress. She is basically a pop idol. She sings, and then she changes her career and becomes an actress. So, to being an actress, to take it seriously, she has to do a lot of things that the people, her fans, don't really like. When that person, that idol, changes into an actress, the people, whatever people thought of her, it changes. Yeah, for a person has to change. It's a part of life. People don't like that. People hated it. People didn't like how she had to do explicit scenes or how she had to be bold or basically they didn't like any changes and their projections of her they became so toxic that that girl literally went crazy in the head. She started hallucinating.
6月24日、みんな助けて。全部無理やりやらされてるの。全部脚本家が悪い。違うよ、これは私じゃない。当たり前よ。これが本当のミマだもの。本当はアイドルに戻りたいと思ってるくせに。違う。で、私はもうそうよね。もうアイドルなんかじゃないもんね。だってあなたはもう汚れちゃったもの。汚れたアイドルなんて誰も好きになんないのね。違うもん。
So the thing is, other people's projections on us can harm us so badly, and like people don't get it. But your projection of me that oh my god, you are not this kind of person. How can you do this? It can make me go crazy in a very negative manner. Don't do this. Don't impose your idea of me on my reality. I cannot fulfill your idea of me, your projections of me. Because I'm a girl, if you expect me to be agreeable, to be kind, to be soft-spoken, I cannot fulfill that. I'm just not that person from my inside, and I cannot fulfill that role. Coming to the next concept, which is emotional labor or social masking. People don't get how difficult it is to be something else from the inside and something else from the outside. That gap can literally kill you. It can make you go crazy, it can make you hallucinate. I am not feminine from the inside, but the society keeps telling me that be like this. Men will like you, men will like you. That male validation, that external validation, everyone. We are sort of conditioned into thinking that if you do this, people will like you more. And we are so obsessed with the idea of being liked. Our need to be liked make us pick up something from the outside that we are not from the inside. And that gap can literally make people go crazy. It is such a huge burden to be something else from the outside. So if you take me today, if I would want like generally people don't really like me. Right? It's sort of a natural instinct of people to not like me. But if I would like want to be liked by if I like try to get up today and I believe and I think that from today I actually want people to like me. First thing I will do is stop expressing my opinions and just agree with whatever the other person is saying. First step of being liked. Second step would be I will just laugh at their lame joke and don't tell them that it's very offensive, I don't like it. Make them feel that, oh, you're so funny. Oh my god. Third thing would be I will dress to appease the male gaze. Not what I like, not what I find cute, but to appease the male gaze. I'll go work out and make my body in a way that men like, slim waist, even if I like abs, but I'll not do the ab workout because men don't like it. That's not feminine. Having abs is very masculine. I will start doing all of this if these are the steps to be liked by someone, and I would follow all of them if I really wanted to be liked by people. And I know a lot of women who do this. And this is so sad, What have we made? What do you think women are? People throw these words around so casually for us, like she's so fake, she's so pretentious, she's something else here and something like there. No, you are making her behave that way. Naturally, every person wants to be liked by other people. No one likes it when people dislike them. Yes, as we grow up, we become used to it and we start accepting it that yes, people don't like me, but no one likes it in the beginning. No one wants to be disliked by other people. You know, people throw around these words so easily. She's so, she pretends that she's perfect, she's so fit, she's so pretentious. You are making it that way because she has this need to be liked. They have this need to be liked, and you guys have told us that these are the steps. If you want us to like you, be like this. So that's why she is being so pretentious. She's being so fake. It's all because of you. You have taught us to suppress our true reactions, and then you go ahead and you call it fake. Watch your body language. Like growing up, people like my teachers would lash out on me. Look at your body language. You have so much attitude. You are this and that. I am being natural. Why can't I just sit straight? Why do you want me to bend a little? Why can't I just be like this and not this? It is my natural form. Let me be in my natural form. It's not like I'm beating the shit out of you or abusing you, that you are correcting me for weird things. You have so much attitude. Why? Your body language. What's my body language? By the end of the day, I'm tired of performing. There was a period when I was a performative artist. I know I was a performative artist. And at the end of that day, I was tired. I was exhausted. My mind was not working. I felt so bad about myself. I could not recognize myself anymore. What I saw in the mirror after those days was not me. And I was not tired from the work I did. Or you guys are not tired from the work you do. We are tired from the effort of pretending to be something that we are not. And this is basically the cost of performance, that we are spending mental currency, which apparently the society doesn't even count. Every woman in this era is spending mental currency just to exist in a space without any problems, without any fiction. If I talk about the movie Barbie, have you guys heard that monologue? You're supposed to be thin, but not too thin. You have to be a career woman, but also look out for other people.
Like, you have to be thin, but not too thin. And you can never say you want to be thin. You have to say you want to be healthy, but also you have to be thin. You have to never get old. Never be rude. Never show off. Never be selfish. Never fall down. Never fail. Never show fear. Never get out of line. It's too hard. It's too contradictory. And nobody gives you a medal or says thank you.
And you think I have to be like all this and it comes naturally from within? You think I'm not performing? You think I am doing all of these things and I'm being real? That you have the audacity to go ahead and call me fake, to call me pretentious? You guys in the society create these unrealistic, crazy standards for us women and then go ahead and call it fake and pretentious? And why are we doing all of this? Just to exist in a society? Just to not create problems? We're not doing anything to you, bro. You guys are the ones who are not letting us just exist in a natural state. And this is not about men. This is for every person out there who wants to reinforce the so-called feminine traits on us and who wants us, who forces us to be something that we are not. There's also this French movie called Joe's the Warmest Color. And I really love it because it's really raw. Hollywood movies are really polished, right? But this movie is actually really raw, and it shows us the parts of life that do exist, but we don't really show them. We hide them, we mask them, and it shows us the imperfections of life, the imperfections of women, because it shows us, it puts the highlight on the imperfections of women that other movies, other forms of theaters just hide because women are supposed to be perfect. Oh, how can a woman make a mistake? Because we are supposed to be perfect, right? How can we make a mistake?
Dans la mythologie grecque, quel est le prénom de la femme d'Orphée pour laquelle il descend joie des silons? Je ne sais rien. Oui, oui.
Je m'en remets encore, s'il te plaît.
L'omerta, voilà, Claude. Plaisir. Je ne sais rien, je fais le canard, je suis au courant de rien. L'omerta. Quel corps d'infanterie organisé par Odysseus?
Ils sont trop bonnes.
Oui, oui, les grenadiers.
Ah, donc. Putain, je suis désolée. C'est juste que... Putain, mais chier. C'est rien, ce mec.
It's so crazy how it's this how only few features exist where women are shown in their real form, how every other movie, like 80% of the cinema, a movie, series, books, they always condition us to be something that other people would like. It's so weird that only a few features exist that actually make us think that yes, it's okay to not be perfect, yes, it's okay to be the real you. Lastly, I just want to end this video on a note where I want to ask you all that if you strip away everything that the society told you to be, if I strip away everything, if I stop wearing these clothes that are made for women, if I stop putting on lip gloss that are made for women, if you're stripped away from everything that the society told you to do, is there any femininity underneath? Is there any feminine self left underneath? Or was the whole house built by someone else? Is the whole you made by someone else? Made by someone else's ideas of you? Made by someone else's projection of you? I never really thought much about my face or my appearance growing up, honestly. I didn't really care that much, but society telling me that I have small eyes, society telling me that I have a big nose, made me realize that, yeah, these things exist. Society telling me that you are too boyish, you're just like boy, you have these boyish experiments, you have these boyish hobbies. I remember being in fourth grade playing cricket with men. I went to class, told my teacher about it, and she was like, yeah, go and become a boy. Go and play cricket, become a boy. I actually sometimes think that if these things hadn't happened to me, who I would be right now. And I want you to ask yourself the same question. If all the experience where you were told to be feminine and feminine and feminine again and again, who you would be today? I didn't think anything about my complexion until society told me that it's dark and I was thinking about my complexion. If all of these things hadn't happened to me, if boys in elementary school hadn't commented on my ass, on my face, or me being too skinny, I mean not being curvy enough, who would I be today? Would I be the same person? It's the concept that it's like you lived in a house for 20 years, right? And the house has yellow walls, and you don't have any problem with the yellow walls, right? You like yellow color. You don't dislike it. You like it. You don't have any problem with it. When you move out of the house, do you still paint the walls yellow? Do you still make your other house yellow? Do you like yellow, or were you just neutral about it because you didn't have any problem with it? Did you like yellow, or that was the only color you had ever known? And here comes the concept of existential authenticity. Where we want to figure out that these feminine choices about being nurturing, dressing a certain way, are they a sincere expression of your soul? Do you actually like dressing that way? Do you actually like being nurturing? Are you actually nurturing? Or is it just a habitual performance, just to be safe and to be loved? I actually have a lot of people around me all the time judging my sexuality because of the way I exist. This is the price that I pay at all the times. People calling me boring, people questioning my sexuality, people calling me sick, pretentious, trying to be cool, wannabe. This is the price I pay every hour of every day. And then some philosophers actually say that feminism is basically a prison that you just keep decorating and decorating, decorating so that it feels good, it feels like a home, but I think it's a prison only, right?
Consider the property being cool in the context of a high school. If you're cool, you might be able to get away with stuff that other people can't. But at the same time, there could be expectations on you that might be stifling. It's a lot of pressure being cool.
And I genuinely believe that we can just reshape it. Who am I without this femininity? We can just reclaim it. I'm not telling you to reject it. I'm just telling you to reclaim it, to make it yours, to only keep the parts of it that you like, not what others like. I was just talking to my mom the other day, and I was telling her that as you keep growing up, there are certain things that start defining you, right? Like my curly hair define me, my black coffee define me. These are the things that I genuinely love that define me. What do you want to define you? What do You want to define it, not what others would like. Don't reject it. Reshape it. Reclaim it. Only keep the parts that you love. Don't keep the parts. Throw them away. Try to throw them away. Doesn't matter if people don't like you, people don't even like themselves. Oh god. If they don't like you, means they don't like themselves. There is no other way around it. Like I just discussed the movie Barbie with you. Can Barbie just exist as a woman without being a doll for anyone?
I'm just so tired of watching myself and every single other woman tie herself into knots so that people will like us. And if all of that is also true for a doll, just representing a woman, then I don't even know.
I just want to say that be Barbie, be a woman. Don't be a doll for anyone. I think so like now that I have said so much of it. I think this video had a lot of my personal opinions. But yeah, this was it. So yeah, this is it for this video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.